Hi, welcome to JKB. I have to apologize because I'm sick, so my voice might I might die during the review, and I might cough, and I will edit as much out as I can. But let me just say, a lot of people are asking me, is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, by the way, thank you to Ubisoft for sending over a review copy, is it better than Unity? Well, as always, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, 10 out of 10, and as always, I've asked you guys on Twitter and Facebook, what did you want to know about Assassin's Creed Syndicate in this review, and I've answered a lot of your questions. So, without further ado, let's get into Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Ray and John ask, has the game come out feeling finished, or does it feel unfinished? That was definitely the most asked question, and I have to say right away, the game works. Is the frame rate 30 frames per second all the time? No, not all the time, especially when there's major explosions happening that are kick-ass moments in the game, but unfortunately, it does suffer from a little bit of drop frames here and there, and there are a few glitches here and there, and there's a huge update on day one that I'm sure a lot of you will have to download before playing the game to hopefully not experience as many of the glitches that would be there without getting the update. But the point here is, this is not Unity. This is an Assassin's Creed game that works, and I'm happy to say that. So in saying that, it works, so don't worry. I trust me, it works. Aaron asks, is the story interesting? Because I'm sick and high on medication, I'll be reading my notes a little bit more in this review, and he asked, is the story interesting? Well, the thing about the story is, and this is where it'll come down a little bit already because it's sitting at a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to bring it to a 9 out of 10 because the story is not that deep. The game essentially is just amazing, brutal assassinations and animations that I've never seen in a game before, and a lot of different variants on how you kill people depending on where they're standing. If they're standing up against a wall, or if there's like certain amount of enemies in that situation you're in, if one of them is close to death and another one is, and you hit the right buttons for the combo, holy shit. This is brutal, and Evie and Jacob are two characters I absolutely love, but in saying that, it also has amazing throwbacks to the past in Assassin's Creed. And I don't mean the time in Assassin's Creed, I mean like past games. I'm not going to give anything away here, but I'm going to bring it to a 9 out of 10 because the story is just there. It reminds me of sort of an Indiana Jones story where there's this item, again, not giving it away, but there's an item that they want to get, and it's in London, and it's a lot going on, but I'm telling you, the story's, it pushed me to keep playing. I'll be honest, guys, for the first time in a long time, I wanted to keep playing an Assassin's Creed game more than I've ever wanted to do before. So in saying that, wow, that's an accomplishment after what we got, a year ago with Unity. This is awesome. This game is fucking awesome. The game is set within London in 1868 during the Industrial Revolution. You play as twins Jacob and Evie Fry as they navigate the corridors of organized crime during the Victorian era and fight against the established order controlled by the Templars. Now the game, it really is the same, open world exploration, but it is including some new traveling systems and refined combat and stealth mechanics. And one of the cool things is the male lead, Jacob Fry, he's meant to be more of the hot-headed brawler, and he's all about the sort of close-up combat, while his twin sister, Evie, is stronger in stealth and sort of relies on her intelligence and wit within the storyline. The main characters are so good in this game, yet they seem so simply designed, but they're not. They have depth. It's not about a cheesy love story because they're brother and sister. So you get that vibe of, the family making fun of each other type thing, but you also run into other assassins, and that's where the situations can involve sort of a love story with Evie, but it's not like thrown in your face like it was in Unity or any of the other games. It's truly remarkable how interesting these characters are with how much you get on them. You don't get super details thrown in your face constantly. It literally is a brother and sister that are kind of looking at London like, let's take that over. Okay, let's go against the rules and just take it over. Cool, let's go do that. So Jacob, he's more of the wise ass, character who wants to sort of build a gang called the Rooks, and that plays a huge point in the game, building gangs. But Evie is more about, she's more the Indiana Jones, but also she's like straight out of Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about assassinations that you won't believe it. And there's moments where I literally was like, fuck yes, this is awesome. The brutality in this, and she's relentless. I can't stress that enough. So you have two different attitudes, two different sort of characters to go between here. And sometimes you have to switch between them to finish missions, and some missions you don't. You could just choose which one. And it can be a little jarring at times when you suddenly show up to a mission and Jacob's right next to you while you've been using Evie the whole time. But it's a video game. And again, I think they nailed these characters. And I'm going to just say this now. These are my two favorite characters in Assassin's Creed of all time. London is such an amazing set piece for them, and it surely helps them, but I love them, and I really hope we see more of them in the future. Roger asks, what does it do to separate itself from the other games? Well, I'll answer that now in saying, what's new in the game? Well, 3 new travel systems make their debut in the game, which is awesome to see. First and foremost, you have the rope launcher, which allows the player to rappel up structures, as well as create a zip line between buildings, which is amazing to use and brings a whole new strategy to the gameplay. You also have the carriages, which can be piloted or simply occupied by the player. You can jump on the rooftops of moving carriages, and it's just the amazing setting for just amazing fights and parkour chases and all sorts of craziness that happens on top of the carriages, and I just am blown away with it. Lastly, you have this whole train system. It's just awesome. You can board the trains at any time as they move around the map, and you have the choice to do just amazing side missions, such as like a classic train robbery and escape situation. It's awesome. Every year we wonder what's going to be new in Assassin's Creed, and this year I honestly feel like they finally have come up with something that lives up to the boats that were in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And the carriages, let me talk about that first. Unbelievable action sequences happen on these carriages, and no, the carriages don't really control perfectly. I mean, they're all over the place, and some feel a little bit slidey at times, but I mean, maybe that's how they feel. I don't know what a carriage actually feels like. If it was a car, I'd be able to say, okay, it feels loose, but in the game, there are different feelings for different carriages. You can do so many things. Like, for instance, you can get on a carriage, you can get onto the roof of a carriage as it's actually moving. So you can get on there, boost it up, because you can boost the horse to make it go a lot quicker. And then as that's happening, another carriage with enemies will come next to you, and you can jump onto the roof of yours. And now all of a sudden you're having this fight, this parkour fight that can go from carriage to carriage. So many crazy situations happen in the game where you have to get on top of one of these carriages and fight somebody, and it's so epic. Like, I haven't had that feeling in a game for quite some time where I was doing something that I was like, it was like Uncharted, serious, over the top, awesome, fun. Then, talking about the zip line, that is a tool that is so welcome in the game. To be able to just get to the rooftop in a split second now, awesome addition to the game. The other side to the zip line is you could shoot it from building to building and actually hang over the assassination situations where you have to drop down and kill somebody. And I just think, wow, this game is so fun. I can't believe what they've done here, and they've really turned the series around here. Top of it, you also have a new hangout, your sort of hideout hangout, which is a train that you get early on in the game, which does upgrade over time on its own as you progress. But this is another welcome addition where trains in this game, there's a whole train system where you can jump onto moving trains, rob them, and steal things, and throw people from the roofs. And Gatling guns that are on the sides of trains, and missions where you have to just basically stay on the train and shoot at buildings. And wow, these side missions are like so different than what you're usually doing in an Assassin's Creed game, and I'm so pleased with it. Like, it's, I can't get over it. It's so good. And yes, there are frame rate issues in some of that with the Gatling gun. Of course, there's a lot of explosions happening. But in saying that, who cares? The game is awesome at this point in time. Like, whoa, I can't believe what you've done here. Players can also kidnap enemies for ransom and then put them inside of horse carriages, which will then allow you to take them to drop-off points while other gangs are trying to take you out. I mean, there's some epic moments in this, and that's definitely one of the new features that I'm really impressed with. This whole carriage system is pretty good. That's another welcome addition where you can actually kidnap somebody now, and lots of the missions require you to kidnap somebody and put them into a carriage and bring them to a drop-off point on the map. And like, this is like, you build up how much you're doing in the game, and you're like, wow, this is a big game. Another major part of the game is the ability to build up your own gang and command them to fight alongside you, which brings a whole new strategy level to the gameplay when you're dealing with situations that are heavy with enemies. It's just awesome to be able to send in your gang members to deal with certain aspects of a mission while you handle other aspects of the mission at the same time. Gangs are another huge addition to the game that I absolutely loved, and I wasn't using them correctly in the beginning because you can start to recruit random gang people that are just randomly in the environment. And you do that probably about 10% into the game, maybe 7% in, and you start to see a recruit button over these gang members that are in green, and you wonder, like, well, how do you use these? These are people you can actually send into combat with you, and I've had up to like 4 of them follow me around into a situation where, again, are you ready for this? You can put them into any situation, missions, side missions, random events. You can recruit them to actually go out there, and you can upgrade them, and that plays into the whole upgrade system. There's a massive upgrade system for the gangs, also for your characters, and I'll get into that in a bit. But wow, the gangs really change up the atmosphere in this game. I mean, you can now go to a mission and look at it and go, I'm going to send my gang members into that side while I go over there and silently kill this guard over here, and then I'm going to throw my knife and take down a bunch of crates that are going to kill that group, and you can complete a mission in like 2 seconds, and you're like, that was fucking amazing. These gangs are awesome, upgradable. Definitely, if you're going to get this game, and I highly suggest at this point in time, get the game. It's an amazing Assassin's Creed game, and use the gangs correctly. Of course, you have a major upgrade system built into the game. Both Jacob and Evie share most of the weapons, but there are definitely moments where you realize they don't share everything. For instance, they have their own skill trees that you can build up by switching between them as you play the game. Some missions will require you to use Evie, or some missions will require you to use Jacob, and a lot of the time you can switch between them. So I think that's an awesome part of the game. Now, in saying that the games are amazing, I have to say at this point in time, of course you have a menu system which is so convoluted, and this is like, it's just a big part of the game that I want to be able to switch my weapons out. And of course there's crafting in this, and you collect that through, again, your gang members. Little kids, believe it or not, are part of your gang as well, and when you see them on the road, you hit R1 and they'll give you goods that they've collected. So you collect your crafting materials from the kids, you go to your menu system, which is accessible at any time now. You don't need to go to a shop owner or any shop in the road. You could just upgrade your new weapon as you unlock it. But the point here is, it's so convoluted, and I have to say, like, it's so convoluted that I'm going to bring the game to an 8 out of 10 at this point in time, because I feel like you want to switch between these weapons, you want to upgrade because you kind of hit a wall at a certain point, but then you go to the menu system to do this, and you're kind of like, oh shit, I'm kind of so confused here, and did I equip this? And it's just a convoluted menu system, to be honest, and it doesn't work well, and I really wish they would fix it. Nick asks, after the disappointment that was Unity, is Syndicate a step in the right direction for the franchise, or just more of the same crap? Overall, I have to say that this is the best Assassin's Creed since Black Flag for next generation systems. It's the first one that I feel deserves that step into the next generation. The setting of London is spectacular. It's grim, it's dark, it's gritty, it's brutal as hell. The kill animations in this are worth the price of admission alone if you like Assassin's Creed, because you really feel like you got that payoff after you've spent, you know, a good 15 minutes looking at a situation, especially if you're playing on hard mode. If you've looked at a situation and thought, okay, I'm gonna do this, use my gangs, and when you get that kill and the way that Evie kills is just brutal. So 8.5 out of 10. If you're wondering, do I go buy this game? If you like Brotherhood, if you like Assassin's Creed 2, if you like Black Flag, if you liked, oh man, I'm telling you, this is a game to be excited about if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed. However, it's not perfect. It does have a touch of frame rate issues. The story is a little weak, and the menu system is convoluted as hell. Hopefully they can fix those things for the next iteration of Assassin's Creed. And I'll be honest here, the addition of being able to split the two characters. They took a character that was brutal and compassionate and all of these things, and they went, wait a minute, why don't we just cut this character in half and give half of this to this side and half to the female side? And again, listen, remember when Ubisoft said it was hard or it was expensive to code a female assassin? I'm being honest here, I used Evie more than Jacob in this game. So I want to be a female assassin because she is so fucking kick-ass. She's like the ultimate badass, and I absolutely love both of them, but if I had to choose, Evie's way above Jacob. Oh man, I love her. Like, I am in love with this character. I'm actually in love with her more than Lara Croft, like the new Lara Croft, who's gorgeous and brilliant and sophisticated and all of that stuff. But Evie, holy shit, I've got a crush on her. So I'm out of here because I've got another big, huge, massive game to review, and I'm trying to get over this cold. So again, I apologize for my voice, and you know, if I wasn't too over the top in this review. Also, it would mean the world to me if you shared this on Facebook or Assassin's Creed forums, or you know, it would really help me out if we got this to hit like 10,000 views. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys very soon. Go buy this game. Trust me, if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed in any way, shape, or form, you're gonna love it. Peace out.